500 likes, or whatever. If this man's house is actually haunted by real demons, or jinn, or whatever broken entity that can't afford to live in a house, then I would like this entity to call me or email me, because I can definitely find them a job that would allow them to rent their own property instead of living rent-free in someone else's. So this is what I do for a living. Is this how bad it can really get? I can't give my services to humans, so I have to see if ghosts and jinn would be interested. What a shame. Anyway, back to our friend, whose video intros take up about 50% of the entire video, and he keeps splashing us with that text telling us where he is. New Mexico is where Jeff wasted his life. So, we have a couple. And before you start feeling emotionally damaged, what I meant to say is that we have a couple of clips taken from what is supposed to be a security camera and 2 others that were taken from a normal standard camera, which somehow has a worse quality than the security camera. He must have switched them. We have the doors in the corridors. What a surprise. I also didn't know that there could be doors in that area of the house. But these doors were being forced open by some invisible force. Scary stuff. Into the office, where something that looks like a rolling book can be seen rolling out by itself. Don't try to imagine this one too much. I couldn't find a better explanation. In the kitchen. Well, the kitchen is very predictable at this point. Everything in it opens, closes, and moves. In the 2 videos where we can finally get in touch with Jeff, he was complaining about his lights flickering, and in the other, he was explaining what a poltergeist is while trying to escape.
The light's flickering. Light switch is on, but I'm not touching it. See, they're not even in sync. They're just flashing everywhere. It's the only light switch in the room. And of course we got that loud banging noise.
The poltergeist is real. I've been tracking it since August 2021. A poltergeist is terrorizing my family. I have already posted a number of records on the internet, which are irrefutable proof of his existence and aggressive behavior. And in general, who or what is a poltergeist? Poltergeist is a complex phenomenon that requires the use of systematic research, which is possible only with the joint work of many scientists and interested persons from different fields of knowledge. Therefore, an important goal for this direction is to combine the work of various kinds of experts and their coordination in the study of this phenomenon. The poltergeist is not physical, not material, not spatial, but temporal in nature.
What really calls into question the credibility of these videos is how all these poltergeist activities seem to happen in order. If I were a djinn who wanted to hunt over someone's house, I would make a mess. I mean, I always make a mess in my human form. Look, if I were to live alone as a teenager or a man in his early 20s, I should have a job to begin with. And if I had a job but my parents were still available, I would live with them. You really think I will try to move out early? I will delay it for as long as I can to save some bucks. But why am I talking about that in the first place? I have no idea. Oh wait, now I remember. It's because of our fella in the next video. His name is Josh, according to me of course. Josh is a virgin young man who lives with his dog in this house alone. His dog, who I thought was a cat due to his size, who I kept mistaking him to be a cat until I went to my ophthalmologist, who told me that I have to start wearing glasses from now on because I have a very rare case where I see things differently. So this dog's name is Jebsy, but who cares what his name is? We are here for the real stuff, for the real dog in the house. And that obviously wouldn't be his girlfriend. The real dog is the one haunting the house. It's kind of similar to a girlfriend in that regard too. How weird. So what does this what does this Jin do? You have to ask him. I don't know him personally. But based on the videos we have, it seems like he dislikes only one area of the house. It's that closet, and specifically its door. Who has to do anything just to open it? Also, when he feels bored, he messes with the light.
People say they wanted me to show you the whole door and do the same thing I did last time. I'm just gonna ask it to open the door. Nothing hard. Okay? What's that? Oh well. If there's anybody in this room with me, could you open that door for me, please? It'd be really nice if someone could open that door. Usually does it by now. Wonder what the heck was that about. Gypsy, what are you doing? There it goes. Told you guys. I told you. Now. Oops, dropped some. There we go. Okay. See? Nothing's in here. No one is in this room at all. Not one bit. See? Look. No string. No string. Not on the door at all. And now I'm going to show you why I did this again. Look at this. I've blocked this door off so it wouldn't bother me no more. And it tore up my carpet. It clawed on my door. I'm freaking out. Like, I'm about to move out, honestly. I'm sitting on my bed. Watch this. If there's anyone in here, open that door. If there's anyone in this room, open that door. Try harder than that.
Forget about Josh's carpet. Let's focus on these bags. I wonder what's in them. They look as if they are filled with human body parts. I know the difference between human body parts and anything else when I see these bags. But how? I can't say. Here are Don, Doll, and Brick, the three little bears in the jungle. I feel like I'm about to tell you a story before bed. But that's actually not true. Yeah, I know, now you have that surprised face. I know how shocking it could be sometimes, knowing that you're in a top scary video. So who are these three little bears? I mean, three men. These folks are paranormal investigators, not investors. These guys are exploring this old abandoned house, and I don't know the story of this house, if there is any. In fact, when was the last time I knew anything about something? But that's the twist. Talking about the actual events, these dudes were using the ghost detecting device to see if there was a possibility of any spirits in this place. But lucky enough for them, the device was telling them, yes folks, there are some demons in this place, so for your own safety, you should leave. But they are so stubborn, and they kept going. The device lost its balls on them and decided to call it a service. He said, never mind these idiots, they ain't going to leave until one of them gets it hard on his head. Did the device actually say all of that? As we know, it can only make peeping sounds. It obviously didn't, but that's what I would say if I were that device. Regardless, as predicted, while one of them was talking to the camera, trying to steal the lights while telling his life story, the other was somewhere in the house trying to do his job when the demon decided to do his job on him. Like possessing him. And the problem doesn't end there. When the team tried to rescue him, they made things worse, as a scorpion appeared out of nowhere and pinched the poor dude. What did the team do? So stupidly, they helped the Scorpio pinch him again.
Chegou a hora que eu fui chegar aqui perto da porta, a energia foi tão forte que eu me assustei, né? O K2 praticamente explodiu. E deixem o seu joinha, tá bom? Cadê aí? O que foi? Caramba.
Por que você tocou no meu cabelo?
Aí, galera. Aí,
Fala
galera.
comigo. Vocês estão ouvindo?
Aí, galera.
Por que você tocou em mim?
Te expulsar ou querer fazer algum tipo de mal para você. Motivo número 2. O que foi, Danilo? Danilo? Te machucou. Tá doendo aonde?
Quer ajuda eles?
Peraí.
Leva pra fora.
Calma, leva os pensamentos. Ajuda aqui. Não, senta aí. Senta.
Levanta a cabeça.
Resista, Paulo, que é importante, mano. Tá filmando, né?
Filme agora.
Filme que é importante. Filme. Tá melhor, Danilo? Tá melhor? Fica assim. Eu sinto alguma coisa em cima dele, o cara começa a disparar, ele começa a passar mal. Filme, Paulo, ele. O pessoal vê.
Que escorpião, vendo? Tá parado.
Ixi, não tem um escorpião aqui, mano.
Pega não, né?
Peraí, Danilo, tem um escorpião aqui, peraí.
Pega não.
Tem um escorpião aqui, mano.
Tira a mão.
Ixi, como é que eu vou tirar ele?
Se mexe não.
Ai, meu Deus. Peraí, Danilo. Peraí.
Levanta.
Está bem aqui, ó. Olha aqui,
Levanta o braço.
Bem aqui, ó.
Aqui, ó, deixa eu pegar.
Não, deixa eu tirar ele. Ixi, mano. Levanta aí, mano.
You can't be rough with a Scorpio in that position, especially when he is on your friend's neck. What if that thing ended up sending your friend to the skies? It's like trying to rescue your friend with your hands from a criminal who's holding him hostage with his gun. That was a long example. When I saw the video you're about to watch, I thought it was just some security guard who was watching the next video. I mean, he was watching over the security cameras and just happened to encounter some paranormal activity in front of him. So, that wasn't the case here. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I know you're now somewhere in the corner crying, disappointed in the reality that it is. But I also know that you have been sniffing some of that flower lately, aside from all the alcohol. I'm watching over you, son. Let's go back to the main topic, the office. What office? Your mom's office. It's not your mom's, but it's actually owned by someone's mom. How weird. So someone uploaded this video to Reddit and said, should my mom open an OnlyFans? Sorry, that was a different post. He wrote this, my mom recorded this in our hotel's office last night. So, we know he is a spoiled rich kid. But we also know that these chairs aren't staying steady. The video is very straight to the point, but why did I have to twist it this hard? So it can get hard. Besides, YouTube is all about adding value and making content, not copying and pasting someone else's script and calling it hard work. The next video is a bit long, and when I say a bit, I mean really long. It's a 13-minute documentary called The Entity, or what I would like to call it, The Rapist. And you might think this is just one of my stupid corny jokes, but you would be wrong. My jokes are corny but not stupid. I also have a point here, but I need to explain the story first. And it's kind of wild. Not only do we go to Africa, but we also have Jackson and Ted. Jackson as Michael Jackson, and Ted from the movie Ted the Bear. Now you've definitely gone wild if that's what you thought. We go to Africa during the documentary, but we don't go as far as featuring Michael Jackson and a fantasy movie character. We start the video with Jamie Jackson, and don't ask me about her relatives. I don't know any of them. Let's go through each one very quickly. Jamie is a crazy lady who thinks there is someone trying to get a hold on her during her sleep so he can make some aggressive love to her. Matt is a dude who looks like someone in their mid-30s, but he is still in college. He studies psychology in college, and he talks like some dude from the 90s who's on drugs all the time. Dr. Allen is the only one with a normally functioning brain. Mark has childhood issues that still haunt him to this day. The folks from Africa are two very old men and a dude. All of them appear to have similar issues, but each of them seems to have a bit more sexual experience than the other. But they all blame it on demonic forces. Even one of the two old men has claimed that the shadow figure left his sperm on him. Dude, respect your age for God's sake. We also have Ted, the shocked man. He is the one who had to get some help from some supernatural experts, who recorded him while sleeping, only to have caught some scary EVPs. But Cody is the wildest one of them, who has to sleep away from his wife and daughter like an unleashed animal, because that's exactly what he becomes at night. And they all somehow blame it on the so-called entity.
One woman has been suffering from entity attacks for most of her life. They began when she was just 5 years old.
The first thing I remember as a child at night, I had just gone to bed. My mother just put me to bed, and I could see the lights on in the living room. I had just laid down for bed. I could hear my parents, I could hear the television, and I looked up, and to my right I saw a couple, very shadowy, very dark, in my bedroom. A man and a woman, and they started walking towards me. It's very frightening. I couldn't speak. I wanted to call out to my mother. I couldn't call out to her. I was just terrified. As soon as I become aware that there's someone in the room, I'll go into a paralysis, and I can't move. I can't shout out. I can't, I'm unable to call for help, and I'm unable to stop any kind of attack. Usually it's an attack. You can't move, you can't scream. Feels like you've been drugged somehow. The closest I've seen of him is the arm, because it's been around my throat several times. He's very violent. He doesn't use any caution whatsoever. He could care less if my neck is broken. I mean, that's how violent he is. Generally, he's accompanied by a very old woman. She's rather short, draped in many layers of clothing. She looks like a homeless type person. You look around the room, you're looking for any way out. I can see my clock, I can see the curtains, I see everything in the room that tells me that this is real, this is happening to me, this is really happening. And I'm wondering why my husband can't hear them, why he can't hear the struggle, why he can't hear the fight. And beyond that, I'm wondering what's going to happen to me after they kill me, who's next.
Then she discovered there were others who had suffered remarkably similar experiences. Research for this film produced hundreds of phone calls.
I was sleeping in my bed, and there was a presence in the room.
I was paralyzed in the bed. He seemed like a shadow.
Probably about 6'5", well over 6 foot, very tall.
There was a presence in the room. I thought I could see an entity, black figure. Oh, there's a presence in the room. God help me.
Matt Watkins is a psychology student at the University of the West of England. Like others, he has experienced entity attacks for most of his life. Unlike others, he often recorded the events as they occurred.
Friday the 26th, 24 in the morning. Saw some things. Still feeling pretty shaky. There was definitely a presence here. Oh God.
I can remember seeing this figure in the doorway. I just knew it was female, but I remember she was old, she had a haggard face, and she saw me, she looked me in the eyes, and she ran right up to my face. The way she came up to me, she glided, stopped right in front of my face, and literally 2 inches away from my nose, looked at me in the eyes, and she had what could be described as black eyeliner.
It wasn't just literature. Many artists had also depicted the entity. In the Middle Ages, it was often represented as a horned beast that preyed on sleeping women and was sometimes thought to rape them. Later paintings saw it as a heavy demon-like creature sitting on the chests of its paralyzed victim.
What happens is when you get to the point where you're so tired, you're just so tired, and you're so tired of fighting, and every night you know when you go to bed it's going to be another fight, a struggle. You become afraid to fall asleep.
Dr. Al Shane has studied over 9,000 cases and believes that it may have been experienced in mild form by up to 30% of the world's population.
Sleep paralysis, as I view it, is a type of dream, a waking dream, or perhaps more accurately, a waking nightmare.
In spite of a normal childhood, Mark Gillen has suffered from particularly disturbing nocturnal attacks since he was a teenager, and still finds them difficult to talk about.
I was only about 17 when this first happened to me. I went to bed as normal, fell asleep, enjoying a good sleep, when probably in the middle of the night I was wakened by the feeling that someone was in the room. I couldn't explain who it was, I didn't know who it was. I then felt being totally paralysed, the fact that I could not move at all. It was as if the power that was there, the energy, was able to control my body. I was being held down from the back. I could feel his hands on me. I could feel that it was a man. I could feel the size of him. I knew that the size of the person that was there. It was a fully grown man. What happened next was a sexual act. As if I could feel him pushing himself on top of me.
Villagers on the isolated island of Pemba, off the east coast of Africa, claimed that they had been plagued by an entity for more than a decade. Like Mark Gillen, some also feel that it has sexually assaulted them. They They call this entity the Popabawa.
Kijivuli kilivyo basi na hicho ndio kinavyotembea. Yaani kijivuli tu, yani ni kama kijivuli, lakini unahisi ni kijivuli cha kutisha. Si kijivuli kama chako wewe hichi. Ni mfano tu, lakini ni kijivuli yani cha kutisha.
Kuingia ndani kapoteza kama sina fahamu, lakini napokuwa ule zile fahamu zako zitakuwa sipo, wamuona lakini huwezi kufanya chochote, mtoto utakuacha. Halafu yake kukamua. Wapiga mikelele haitoki. Sasa mule kama unaona mwapigana wewe.
Hapo kitu cha ajabu. Mlango umefungwa. Sasa wewe anakutokezea matokezeo kama yale. Sasa vipi unahisi hili jambo na unajua kwa kuwa limenikamata kama hivyo, leo unapiga ukelele, unaamka kitu mtu maji.
I've been hit by like an unseen force. It hits my chest. It penetrates right through my head, through my body, through my chest, yanking my legs. It hits me so hard at times where it knocks me off my mattress. Sometimes I'll wake up after getting assaulted or after getting paralyzed, and I'll see a stream of black or white smoke just kind of streaming out of my bed, my pillow next to my face, or just floating in midair.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remotely be watching him from another location, actually right above him. And I'm going to set up a laptop with a video camera feed that's going to be showing me video of what's going on and also audio of what's going on. And if anything does happen in here, I'll be here in the room within a matter of seconds.
Right now we're directly above Ted, and we're monitoring him. All of our equipment is set up, and we're waiting to see if anything happens, any movement, any kind of globules appear, okay, which are balls of light. See what happens now that we're all set up.
Ted said that something grabbed his leg, went on video, we see his leg go. I'm gonna be going down there with him, and I'm gonna sit in there and see what I get on tape, because I'll be running EVPs also.
I've tried communicating with it, and not only did nothing happen, not only did I not receive a reply, the assaults got more intensified within about 10 minutes of asking.
I ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. End of recording.
As expected, there is no audible sound in the room. But when the scene is played back from the point of view of the recorder, an apparently different picture emerges.
Please release whatever has been performed on Ted.
Then Gentili mentions Jesus.
I ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
The sound that you just heard in some people's minds could be portrayed as static discharge, which to me is ridiculous, because I've heard the things scream blasphemies, okay, in people's houses, and include the client's name, people's names, people who aren't even a part of the case. What you heard it's as real as it gets.
I think he's possessed because when he's awake, he's not violent, and he just don't look like himself when he's having a night terror. He don't sound like himself. He has a terrifying holler. His eyes are glazy looking. They just don't look like him.
Cody McKee and Monica Forrest have been together for 7 years and have 2 children. In spite of a violent adolescence, Cody's biggest problem is the mysterious attacks that plague his sleep. Although he appears to be seeing something, he cannot remember any detail of his attacks.
Show you the holes. These are some of the holes he's put in through the sleep terrors. When he put his fist through the fan, he went in through the front and out the back and into that wall.
This is the most extreme case of sleepwalking and night terrors that I've seen. These have been reported in others, but this is the first one that we've had here at our center to this magnitude.
If you need anything at all during the night, the intercom will be on all night. Don't hesitate to let us know. Okay?
All right, let's hear him now.
All right, love you.
Love you too.
All right.
Okay. All right. Good night.
During the first night of monitoring, Cody appears to wake up, terrified. The EEG machine shows that he is still in deep sleep and not dreaming. If Cody isn't dreaming, what could be provoking him in such a way?
Honestly, these folks could be actually experiencing some jinn apparitions at night, or they could just be having some sleep paralysis. And the last option, and the one that seems to make the most sense to me, is that they are a bunch of weirdos with different problems, as I explained in the introduction, but deeper. But do you know what I think? I think you should subscribe and watch the next video on your screen.